What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Tony Mo from Pixabyte, and today we're going to be taking a look at Shadowrun Returns, a adventure RPG developed by Harebrained Schemes. The game just released and is available on Steam for $19.99. So let's go ahead, we're going to pop open a new game. I figure this is the best way to kind of really show you guys what Shadowrun Returns is all about. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to launch a new campaign here, and right away we're going to be tasked with creating our own character. So right off the bat, Shadowrun has done things right. Now, a little bit of background information while we go ahead and go through some of this. For those of you guys who don't know what Shadowrun originally was, it was actually a tabletop game that was created by several people, one of which being Jordan Wiseman, who is also one of the head guys behind this game. He's one of the people who created the Kickstarter for it, and this game got funded, and ended up reaching a goal of about $1.8 million, so a pretty hefty goal, which allowed them to create some extra content. But you can see we have a lot of the original Shadowrun roles, if you're familiar with the games that released back on the Sega platforms and the NES back in the day. We had a game in 1993, 1994, and 1995 for Shadowrun. Two of which were RPGs, and then the third one being sort of an adventure game. And then in 2007, we saw the release of Microsoft's version of Shadowrun, which was a first-person shooter that stayed true to the lore, at least, even though it was a first-person shooter. Now, in 2013, we have sort of the revival of Shadowrun, by one of the original tabletop creators. So we're going to go ahead, we're actually going to go with the elves. I always like the elf races. And then you can see we have sort of these subclasses. So we have the street samurai, we have the mage, we have the decker, shaman, rigger, and we have the physical adept. And then you can also go with none, and you can kind of build your guy from scratch. We're going to go ahead, though, and we're going to go with the street samurai, because I like that idea. This is simply just your portrait, so... Did we pick a... Okay, there we go. I was going to say, we want to pick a male. I am, in fact, a man. So let's see. Oh, there's some creepy ones. It's so weird that you can toggle a separate portrait, because then you can go ahead and modify your character custom if you would like to, rather than just having the portrait. Let's go with this guy. He looks like sort of a punk. I kind of like him, I guess. Let's go ahead and we'll continue into our stat modification. So you can see here the game is telling us about karma. Karma is basically your experience points that you use to upgrade your character's stats. So right off the bat, we have 5 karma that we can go ahead and dump into some of our stats here. So I'm going to focus my guy on... We'll go with rifles. So what we're going to want to do is we'll spend a point in rifle. But then if we go back up to range combat, we can actually dump 2 points in range combat. That's going to allow us to unlock the second tier in rifles. So now we have 2 in there. And you can see each of those gave us a bonus. One was for accuracy and one was for critical damage. So we're going to go ahead and confirm. Now we can choose our etiquette. Etiquette is actually a really important thing inside of Shadowrun, because from what I've been able to play the game, the way you speak to people, the decisions you make, and how you talk actually affects how they look at you rather greatly. I thought that was something that they've done exceptionally well. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to be a Shadowrunner, though. And as for our name, we're just going to go with Tony Mo. I think that's a rather good nickname for someone in the Shadowrun universe. So let's dive into this. Down and out. Now, one thing you're going to be doing a lot of in Shadowrun, much like if you were playing the tabletop game, is you're going to be doing a lot of reading of the lore and kind of creating, I guess, your own personality for people. There is no voice acting. It is one thing that I really wish they would have went out of their way to do for the game, is to actually, add voices. Maybe, the budget didn't fit, but even if the guys from the team would have went ahead and done it, there are a lot of them are really hardcore, role-playing guys. They play the tabletop game. It would have been nice to see them do some voice acting. Well, let's get into the game. What did that say there? Your computer, state-of-the-art in 2050, broken since 2051. That sounds like a computer to me. I always say the more money you spend on them, the quicker they break. So what do we got over on our table here? Your notebook, calendar, contacts, that kind of thing. So let's view our contacts. I don't think we have any. Oh, there we do. No response to messages, dead. Missing since February, dead. Probably in a gutter, somewhere, dead. Retired or dead. Hey, it's Halfjack. That was one of the recommended names. Okay, so before we continue any further into the game here, I want to show you guys a quick option that I think you should strongly do that's going to help make the game much easier when you play it. If you go ahead, you hit escape, and you head into your settings here, I strongly recommend you toggle the double click on. Now what double click does is it allows you to click on the environment when you're in tactical situations, and then click again to confirm a move. So we'll talk a little bit about that later. Let's go ahead and answer our phone and get the story started here. Sam Watts. The screen leaps to life, making you squint against its brightness. The face on the screen is laughing. Hey, buddy, hope I didn't catch you at a bad time. He giggles. He's drunk again, or worse. You're zoned, man. You're so zoned. Don't bother with your side of the conversation. I'm not really here. Just one reason for this vid. Someone finally geeked me. I'm dead. I probably had it coming. In case you guys weren't aware, Shadowrun takes place in a cyberpunk universe, which happens to be one of my favorite types of fiction. When you're an unsavory character like myself, you tend to associate with other unsavory characters who often partake in unsavory business. Like you, for example. So why am I dead? Who knows? Probably my fault. I wonder where you are right now. I bet you hit a big payday and you're living high on the hog somewhere. Some of us are born winners and some of us are me. Couldn't be any more wrong about that, Sam. Hey, you remember that Renraku run? When things went to hell and we lost Dowd? Or the makeshift saloon on the docks afterward? I really had your back that night, didn't I? Dowd, that's a name you haven't heard in a long time. So you can see you're going to be narrating things a lot for yourself. Which actually, I don't have too much of a problem with. I won't go all crazy though and make up voices. I don't want to annoy the hell out of you guys. Alright, 3 years ago, a makeshift bar on the Seattle docks, the night Dowd went down. So let's go ahead and talk to this guy first. New Larry. This dude looks like a creeper. You've been running with New Larry for about 6 months now. He's a combat mage with a bad tattoo and a bad attitude. He knew Dowd almost as well as you did. Dowd. Never saw anybody die like that before. Idiot. Shakes his head. I hate this friggin' city, Tony Mo. It's wet, and the rain feels like acid, and I want out of here. Shut your screamer about the rain. We lost a man tonight. Soka, sorry. I'm just really ready to go home. Portland's way more my speed. I don't know, Tony Mo. Sam is a good guy and can hold his own in a fight, but he's been hitting the bottle pretty good lately. Never on a run so far, but he needs watching. Bastard better show we need the money. I want to get paid as much as you, buddy, but we need to live long enough to actually drink the nyan we earn. Cut the dreck, Sam. We both know why Dowd went down, and it wasn't the fixer or some other paranoid chip dream of yours. Sam smiles with a toothy smile. I've been waiting for this all night. New Larry has something he wants to say, don't you, Larry? Go ahead, spill it. You were sloppy. He laughs. Sloppy? You think I was sloppy? You've been twitchy all day, son. Look at your hands, they're shaking. It's true, Sam. You miss a beat back there? No, Tony Mo, I didn't miss a beat. I was on my game the whole time. Remember, I was on point. New Larry was supposed to cover Dowd. Something dawns on him. He leans into New Larry, amused and dangerous. We were set up, and he knows it. Don't you, Larry? What was that call you made before we hit Renraku? How come you couldn't geek that guy before he unloaded on Dowd? I've seen you fling a lightning bolt, son. He should have burnt toast before his gun cleared the holster. New Larry checks his watch, licks his lips, looks over his shoulder at the darkness. He's looking for someone and it's not the fixer. Man, he's one shady guy, I have to say. Okay, I can see where this is going. You chummers are damaged. I'm out. How much did they pay you to sell us out, Larry? He stops, and a smile slowly appears on his face. Honestly, it didn't take much, just enough to get me back to Portland and set up with a Kush Corp job. I'm out of this racket. What a sellout. Psychnoma. We've got incoming. New Larry relaxes and throws you a dreck-eating grin. Looks like my new Renraku friends are finally here. They're gonna take that hard drive off your corpse, buddy. We should choose our friends more carefully, Tony Mo. That guy was never my friend. Mine either. Think I'll shoot him. Alright, so let's get into the combat in Shadowrun. One thing I have to say is they haven't really went out of the way to make this some sort of a unique combat system. It's really similar to XCOM. So if you played XCOM, you'll be comfortable with it. It's turn-based, it makes sense. So this is what I meant about the double click. We're going to go ahead and click once. It's going to allow us to see where we want to send our unit, our character, and then we can click again and he'll actually go there. It just makes for more efficient movement. Without the double click, I was doing lots of accidental moves. You know, maybe that's something that they'll tweak a little bit in the future. Now, to attack an enemy, we're going to simply go ahead, click on him once, and then double click. Like I said, the double click really just helps, in my opinion, make everything a bit more efficient. So let's go ahead and move our guy over this way. Put him behind cover here. And you can see each character has a certain amount of sort of action points, you could say, that allow you to move or to reload in this case, or to fire on the enemy. So everything costs 1 point at this moment. So can we actually hit him? And then, you know, we can get stats when we click on it. It'll say he's wounded, line of sight is blocked, so we can't actually engage the target from there. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to move up a little bit more. Go ahead and double click. So then the enemy's going to have their turn. You know, it's turn-based combat. It doesn't get more straightforward than that. The game, however, in general, though, is a very good-looking game. They've spent a lot of time on the environments. It never ceases to feel extremely steampunk. I'm just a huge fan of everything steampunk, and I love the way the game looks. The soundtrack is great. It was actually composed by some of the people who worked on the original Shadowrun games back on the SNES and Sega, so that's really nice to hear. Take it easy, new Larry. He had that coming. Poor Sam. Go ahead. And you can also see, then we have all of our stats down here in the left corner. We have the weapon type, the range, the capacity of the magazine, the damage, and then we also have some different different setups that we can run on the gun. So we have spray and pray, and then we have burst fire. As well as if we look over here, we have our inventory, which at the moment, Sam's running some frag grenades. And as you go through the game, you're going to unlock things like, excuse me, like health packs, you know, other pieces of equipment. Also, I quickly want to open this up. So this is our main menu here. We have our mission items, our objectives. We can also click on our character. We can look at our overall stats. We can spend any karma points that we've been granted. And then we can go into our inventory, where we can take a look at our outfit, our weapons, our spells, and then our cyberware, which is basically all of our upgrades for our gear. And you can see we actually have a med kit and a heal and some grenades. So let's go ahead and take control. So you got the AK-97. Got a single shot. What can we put this on? Let's go ahead and do aim shot. So that's a little bit more damage. Taking care of that guy. Alright, Samuel. Time for you to move up and make your move, pal. Oh, looks like we got more guys coming in. I'm gonna send my guy back here to cover. And you can see, much like XCOM, it has this white grid that basically signifies where you can move in one turn. Outside of that, if you have to do a rush, it'll cost two action points, basically. Alright, let's finish this guy off. It's all you, Sam. No, I guess not. We're gonna have to reload after this one, so I'm gonna go ahead and use our next point there to reload. That's that. Okay, and you can see, depending on the character as well, you know, obviously there are things like mages. They actually have the spells that they can use. So if we open up the spell book here, we can see a couple of our spells. And same thing with Sam. Let's move over there. Man, just popping my guys. Alright. Save the reload for this time. We're actually in a bad spot. We probably should have moved out of there. We're getting critted. Oh, more dudes coming in. They are just chock full of baddies, these guys. Hit the reload for 1 point. Can we actually target this guy? No, we can't. Alright, Sam, you're moving back this way. And you'll notice as well the shields on the cover. Again, if you played XCOM, you'll be very familiar with the whole combat system. The shields reveal how much protection you're actually taking. So from this side I had full protection, and from this side I had half. So that's something you're going to want to pay attention to. You know, obviously you're going to want to be moving your guys into full protection as much as possible, but you can't always do that. That's not always the case. You're not always that lucky. And half. Let's go see how we can range this shaman out there. You have to be very careful of shaman, because they can actually cast sort of monsters out into the environment to help fight for them. And then of course they have fireballs that they can throw at people, which is... And there you go. I had a feeling that was coming. Luckily we're at a decent range, decent cover. Ooh, taking some damage there. Alright, it's up to us. Let's drop this guy. You don't walk that close to somebody with a shotgun, my friend. It's just not... It's not a good move there. Let's go ahead and move up. So you can see we actually have no cover on this position, shown by the shield there. So let's go ahead and reload. Let's give spray and pray a try. What do you guys say? So I was actually able. That's a nice tag because it allows us to hit multiple targets. Bear totem, the power heal. Let's go ahead and use that. I like the sound of that. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to want to click on her. That's going to heal her as well as anybody who's in the area. Sadly, nobody's in the area, so just a little bit of a heal on her, but that's fine. Get her health back up. It was really, really low, so... Ooh. Alright, let's get... We need to get around this area here. It's a long shot, but we'll take it. It's not like we have much of a choice there. There we go. Take care of that. See if we can drop the shaman now. Shaman's down. Well played. Get some shots on the mage. Alright, Sam, you're gonna make a crazy push. Oh, that was a mistake. That was a mistake, my friend. Finish him up, Sam. Oh, we're out of ammo. Alright, reload it. See if I can't get close enough to get a shot on this guy. Oh, line of sight is blocked. Alright. There we go. Sangoma got it. Sangoma lowers her gun, eyes Sam. You okay, Sam? Sam's breathing is heavy and he looks shaken. That was a hell of a thing. You did good. You were born for this gig, Tony Mo. Me, not so much. I think I'm gonna hang it up, find a nice brothel somewhere, stay drunk until I croak. What about you? Me? I do this. It's the only life I know. Alright guys, that's been a look at Shadowrun Returns. If you're a big fan of Cyberpunk, you're a big fan of the tactical, old school RPGs, the game's not perfect. I was actually a little bit disappointed with the scale of things. I thought they were going to do an open world, but it's still, the story is great. I love the dialogue. It's very well written. As much as I would have liked to have some voice acting, I'm stoked at how well the dialogue is. It's a joy to read. I love it. I can't get over it. I'm really enjoying the game. I'm enjoying the setting. If you're a big fan of Cyberpunk, if you're a big fan of these old school tactical RPGs, there's no reason not to check out Shadowrun Returns. I know the game is actually extremely lengthy. I have a friend of mine who's about 6 hours in, still hasn't finished it yet. So it's a decent, it's a decent chunk of game, and it's I think it's well worth the price. It's definitely worth checking out Shadowrun Returns. We'll definitely have a link in the description below. And for more fantastic cyberpunk goodness like Shadowrun Returns, be sure to subscribe to us here on Pixabyte. Till next time, this has been Tony Mo, and I'll see you guys in the next one.